We're on a road to nowhere. Come on inside. Taking that ride to nowhere. We'll take that ride. I'm feeling okay this morning. And you know, we're on the road to paradise. Here we go, here we go. There's a city in my mind. Come along and take that ride, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. And it's very far away, but it's growing day by day, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. Would you like to come along, and you can help me sing this song, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. There's a city in my mind. Come along and take that ride, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. And it's very far away, but it's growing day by day. It's alright, baby, it's alright. They could tell you what to do, but they'll make a fool of you, and it's alright, baby, it's alright.
Hello.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Postmortem Breakdown. Whoop-de-woo, I see you, and I know you're going to ask, where is Logan? Well, they are not feeling too hot right now, but they are planning to join us shortly. So I know you don't care about me anymore, so stick around because they'll be joining. My Whoop-de said no more Joy. She's Team Logan now. Kind of hurts, but all right. So thank you guys so much for joining tonight. We have a interesting show as usual. We're going to be talking about a few things that, shocker, not many other people are talking about, if at all. So as always, we'll go in our order of who picked what topic. And I do want to let people know that we do that. There's three of us. We each pick a topic we want to address each week, which I really love because it's not just, I found these three things, or it's inclusive. We each pick one and we each address that one we found. So I really like that we do it that way. It's more equivalent. But in any case, Andrew, let's hear what you've got for us.
Yeah, so as you said, Joy, we pick topics that no one else is talking about. So decided to do something that no one has really heard about, Joe Rogan and Spotify. No, I'm just kidding. Not talking about that.
Gotta go. Debate me, bro.
Yeah, done with that. Yeah, so I think what I want to talk about is Amazon. And there's a lot to be talked about when it comes to Amazon, right? I think what people have typically been talking about Amazon, which is a great topic, is how they exploit their workers, right? How they ruined the election in Bessemer, right? How they co-opted the election, right? How they have a lot of contractors, right? That go through unsanitary conditions. How people can only have like 5 minutes to go to the bathroom when it's all across the warehouse, right? We hear about those things all the time, but we don't always talk about how much of a monopolization they have on so many different sectors that are killing small businesses. And so first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring, I think, let's just open up. So, and I'm going to bring up
a trigger warning in case you didn't see it. We will be getting a little into mental health and how Amazon is exploiting that. So just a heads up. But continue, Andrew.
So the first half of what I'm going to be talking about is not going to be talking about mental health. And then I'll bring up mental health shortly before doing that too, because I think before we talk about mental health, we need to talk about some of the structures that have kind of caused some of this to happen, right? So first of all, I'm going to share my screen here. Give me 1 second. All right. So this is the Institute of Local Self-Reliance. So definitely check them out. I recently found out about them. It's really interesting, and they talk about sort of how advocating for small business, anti-corporations, anti-corporate chokehold. But according to the Institute of Local Self-Reliance, 80% of voters believe Amazon should be subject to greater regulations, and more than half support breaking it up. Okay, so there's a little bit of point of solidarity and unity, right? When we're all over Twitter and people are continuously crapping on each other, and you're like, oh, the left can't, right? A lot of people agree with this, right?
But how many
Now,
still buy from them?
well, a lot of people, a large amount of people do. And mostly it's because they don't have a choice, right? I mean, definitely, I think that is a conversation in terms of creating more of an infrastructure that we don't have to rely on Amazon, and being more aware. People, I think, could be, of course, be more aware of what they could buy from instead of Amazon. But I think the reality is, and this is a lot of what this sort of institute talks about, is that they have such a chokehold on the market that it is virtually impossible to boycott them in some way, right? And I think that
Because
is
it's
the
not just Amazon. They own Audible. They own certain
yes.
emails. They own certain apps. Like, like I put my book up on Goodreads. I didn't know there was fucking Amazon.
Right.
Like, half the stuff you use, you have no idea Amazon owns it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so a 2019 survey showed that 3/4 of independent retailers ranked Amazon's dominance as a major threat to their survival. And only 11% of those selling on its site describe their experience as successful. Okay. So just think about this, right? When you buy something, it's very likely that it's not even from Amazon. Amazon didn't create it, right? It's an independent business, smaller business that created that is now on Amazon's site because they have very little choice but to put it on Amazon because Amazon has so much of the market, right? And so these independent retailers are essentially saying that this isn't good for them, right? They're not doing well under this Amazon's terms that they have, right? And we don't need to talk about how that is detrimental to the people, right? Wages constantly go down the more monopolization there is, the less small businesses there are. And so it says here, between 2007 and 2017, the number of small retailers fell by 65,000, right? So here we go here, right? Essentially, it's saying Amazon has cornered the online market, impeding the ability of small businesses to operate independently and blocking them from having direct relationships with their customers. A majority of shoppers look to buy something online, begin their search on Amazon, and its site captures about 50% of online spending in the US. The dominance allows Amazon to function as a gatekeeper. Retailers and brands must sell on its site to reach much of the online market. The dependence is risky and leaves many businesses living in fear. Changes, and so this is where we get to their search algorithm, right? Which this is going to come in handy for the next story, right? Changes to Amazon's search algorithms or selling terms can cause their sales to evaporate overnight. Amazon also makes it hard for sellers to reduce their dependence on its platform, in part by making their brand identity almost invisible to shoppers and preventing them from building relationships with their customers, which, I don't really shop from Amazon at all anymore, right? And Joy, I get the sense that you don't either, but I'm
guilty. I'm gonna lie. I usually buy everything I can from Etsy, but I have Audible. I mean, it's not easy for me to read, and I do a lot of books on tape and stuff.
Yeah. So when you do shop on Amazon, I mean, how often do you actually notice logos of those companies that likely actually created it, or are essentially selling those things, right? I never do. right? And that's
You
on
mean,
purpose.
if they ship from another country, another company or
Yeah.
something?
So exactly.
I
So do
think
you ever
what
notice
happens
another
is,
company? Huh?
I think what happens is it only tells you that when you go to check out. It'll
Mm-hmm.
say XYZ is shipping from a different manufacturer, so may come later than usual, blah, 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 something like that. So usually it just says Amazon.
Right. Right. Exactly. Um, and so and that is on purpose, right? Because they don't want you to actually get to know that company and then start buying more from that company. They want to keep it their companies there as anonymous as possible on Amazon's site so that you continue going to Amazon and Amazon continues to get that money, right? God forbid you're like, oh, this is an interesting company. You go on their website, you buy from them directly. That's not what Amazon wants, right? And so and then here it kind of goes down to Amazon compels sellers to buy. So it's
You're
where,
not
so here,
showing it, boo.
I'm not.
Uh-uh.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me show it again. Sorry about that, everybody. It's still not showing. I don't know. I pressed the share. Why is it not there? Do I need to do it the old fashioned way? All right, we're going to do it this way. But yeah, I'm doing it exactly how I was, so we'll have to figure that out.
There you go.
There it is. All right, so here it is. Thank you for saying that. Yes, Amazon is a digital Walmart. I think that's a good way of putting it. And so
That's why it wasn't working.
Yeah, right. So Amazon continues to indirectly enforce this, so they have this fair pricing policy, right? If Amazon's pricing bots detect that a seller is offering a lower price elsewhere, Amazon suppresses the seller's sales by demoting the item in search results so that customers are unlikely to see it or making the seller ineligible to win the buy box. These actions invariably cause sales to crater. Of course it does. As a result, even though it may cost less to sell on competing sites, sellers can't lower their prices below Amazon's on any platform. This insulates Amazon from competition and preserves its dominance, right? So I think this is a really important thing to take away, right? So many people say it's just an algorithm. It's run based on people's behavior, based on what they want. It's a natural algorithm that is completely automatic, right? But here it's completely it's saying otherwise, right? Amazon is in control of its algorithm, at least from this standpoint, right? They manipulate the algorithm so that companies that are on good behavior for them get elevated, while companies that are maybe trying to actually, make money somewhere else by selling their product are getting squeezed, right? And so that is, I think, one thing that is, and then it just goes on to talking about their predatory pricing. I'm going to put this link here in the chat because it really just shows a lot about how Amazon behaves. But
are you allowed to scroll? Like, are you able to scroll?
yeah, I was scrolling. How is this not? All right, we're gonna have to figure this out, I guess, offline because this is different than how it was.
It's Amazon, I'm telling you.
Yeah, sorry everyone.
There you go. There it goes.
Now it was going with the scrolling. I was literally scrolling this whole time. That's annoying. All right. So anyway, let me go back to that. So now this is where we get to trigger warning. Okay. So mental health and such. Now, let me bring this up and hopefully it shares correctly. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom.
Now, this is something I've heard literally no one talk about, and
Yes.
I didn't even know until Andrew sent it to me.
And selfishly, I wish someone else would talk about it so that I could show the video, because this is a long ass article. And so it was very hard for me to figure out what I should show versus what I should summarize, because there's a lot in here. So I guess I'll do the favor and just do this so someone could just use this video here. But so here is: lawmakers press Amazon on sales of chemical used in suicides. I'm just going to double check to make sure everybody sees this. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good start. So the pleas to Amazon were explicit. A food preservative sold by the online retailer and other e-commerce sites was being used as a poison to die by suicide. Please stop selling this product, began one review posted on Amazon in July 2019 by a person who wrote that a niece had used it to kill herself. I've already notified Amazon and they said they would help with this, but they have not. Since then, suicides linked to sales of the preservative through Amazon have continued. The New York Times identified 10 people who had killed themselves using the chemical compound after buying it through the site in the past 2 years, including a 16-year-old girl in Ohio, a pair of college freshmen in Pennsylvania and Missouri, and a 27-year-old in Texas whose mother had filed a wrongful death suit against Amazon. Enough people purchased the preservative to attempt suicide that the company's algorithm began suggesting other products that customers frequently bought along with it to aid in such efforts. But when family members left behind and others alerted Amazon to the deaths and to the danger of the sales, the company declined to act. Now members of Congress are demanding answers. And so blah, 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 talking about that. The move comes just weeks after publication of a Times investigation that linked a website which provides explicit instructions on suicide to a long trail of deaths. Most were from the chemical compound sold legally in many countries. And so I'm going to scroll down a little bit. So Congress is seeking briefings from Google and other tech companies that help make the suicide site accessible. Garland is trying to consider ways to prosecute its operators. And so the response from Amazon is what you would expect it to be, right? They are not here it is. In a written response to the lawmakers on Thursday, Brian Hausman, Amazon's vice president for public policy, extended condolences to families of the dead. Thoughts and prayers, right? While defending Amazon's practices in sales of the compound. He said it was used for a range of purposes and it was available from other retailers. Amazon made a wide selection of products available to our customers because we trust they will use those products as intended by the manufacturers, like many widely available consumer products. Okay.
So what are some of the things that this is supposed to be used for, supposedly?
So it's like a food compound. The FDA approved it, and I guess it can be used as an ingredient in some food. Clearly, that's not what this was the case, and it was clear that they were not, right. So used for that purpose, and so yeah, and then it goes on, but you get the whole point, right? And so this is, I think, something. I think connecting both of the different things that I showed you, right? How Amazon manipulates its algorithm. It was clear people were using the chemical and other things in order to die by suicide, right? Amazon then made it more accessible for people to gain use of this. We know that Amazon has the ability to bring things down in the algorithm if they don't like what a company is doing, if they consider it competition in any way, right? But they didn't do that for this. And that to me shows the corruption of capitalism completely and how it has no bounds, right? It was selling well. They took no precautions. And so, yeah, Joy, I want to get your take on that, but I think this really,
I would have preferred they said nothing that say my condolences, because the biggest fuck you could ever do is say, we're not going to take it off the shelves, but like, sorry for your loss. Like, you're hearing about these suicides and you're thinking, well, if something has the power to do such a thing, why can you buy this, no prescription, no nothing, over the internet? Why, this is like truly incredible that something could take someone's life, and it's not like you need to like mix things with it or concoct things with it. It's like literally you buy this thing and can end your life, and it's being sold and promoted on this place that's already a bajillionaire, and they don't care enough about, what did they make on this product? Like what, $10 or something? And you're multi-billionaires and you can't even fucking take it off your shelves. There is no conscience in capitalism. There's not. It doesn't exist. Money is money. There is no feelings. There is no empathy. There is no condolences. All there is tough shit. I got mine. Fuck you. Fuck the pores. Oh well, tough shit. It's so disgusting.
It's disgusting, and it literally is. I think it's just a perfect example of how neoliberalism can indirectly and directly kill people, right?
Yeah.
Because, if we really want to take a full scope of sort of how we got to this place, right? Amazon has such a chokehold on the online market. It has a chokehold everywhere else. They have supermarkets, right? I believe they are the number one employer now, right? No, Walmart, I believe, is, and Amazon is like shortly behind, I believe.
And they're opening up literal Amazon stores.
Yes. And so we have that going on. And then we have the fact that small businesses are struggling under Amazon, right? Because Amazon takes, I believe in the Institute said, at least 30% of the profits that they sell when they put their things on Amazon's site. They have very little choice of where else to put it, because if they are found out that they're putting it under another vendor, whatever you want to call it, then Amazon then suppresses them, right? And so now they have all of this power, and then these things get sold on Amazon. So you see how it all connects in this weird way, right? And I think one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up and give sort of some background and sort of Amazon's basic business market is because I feel like as leftists, we don't say enough about monopolization and mergers and how they completely have destroyed so many people's lives, right? In many different ways, right? And it's one of the biggest reasons why wages have decreased. It's one of the biggest reasons why there's an increased amount of contracting jobs, right? Which, Joy, I know you've had experience in yourself. And so I think it's just always good that we connect the dots. And when thinking about a problem like this, what are we going to do to make sure that Amazon doesn't have as much power? Unionization is a great start, right? But it doesn't address nearly all of what needs to be addressed in terms of how we created and collectively allowed this monster of an organization to exist and be part of all of our everyday life. Rant over on that, but.
And we've, unfortunately, we've seen that trying to unionize Amazon is not easy, because they will literally install cameras so that they can see who votes which way, pointing down on the people voting, and then ballots get miscounted and things like that. And then and then a lot of the people who vote for the union mysteriously end up getting fired. And it's just, I don't know that there is any way to take on such a monster. I mean, I love this saying, the people, the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. But in this case, I don't see how that is even close to feasible. Money runs everything. That is not some kind of huge statement. I know it's like a trite statement, but it sums it up. You're broke. You have no power. Like
Yeah.
we're just us. We're just po folk who, we mean nothing to them. We mean nothing. So unless we walk in with like stacks of dollars, they just don't care. And if we did that, they'd take it, turn around, and leave.
Yeah. And I mean, it is. I mean, and this is also something that, I think for leftists watching this have heard many times, but it's a dictatorship that we have enabled, right? Amazon has the power of a dictatorship in many ways. In the Institute article that I was sharing, they also go on to talk about how Amazon shuts down small businesses without due process, right? They routinely suspend sellers' accounts and seize their inventory and cash balances. These actions are often abrupt and arbitrary and can be, I'm reading it now, can be catastrophic, costing sellers enormous sums in lost merchandise and receivables, right? Sellers have little recourse, right? So sounds pretty arbitrary to me, right? Amazon decides what businesses are should go under or which businesses should go on top. That's not democracy to me. And Zephyr Teachout actually does a great video talking about that on the Gravel Institute. I would definitely look into that, look at that, because of how monopolies have really just caused dictatorship-like structures. And essentially they have to, because they need the power in order to survive, because once people wake up, you can't vote it out anymore. Right.
Yeah, like how is electoral politics helping this right now? Oh, they're taking money from Jeff Bezos? Oh, okay, cool. That's going to help. I feel so hopeful. That's awesome. Like, this kind of shit, you can't vote this out. I think some people are just never going to get to the point where they can understand that. You look on social media, and anytime you say anything of substance, you see at least one person in the comments vote blue.
Yeah.
And it's like, blue is there, blue House, blue Senate, blue White House, and what the fuck are y'all doing? We're in this utopia, apparently. There's unicorns around. I haven't seen any, but apparently we are living large here, people, because vote blue. Go team.
Absolutely, yeah. I like A Dingo Ate Me a Baby. This is talking about the chemical. It's talking about that people were using as a means to kill themselves. And it says, if it can kill, why are we using it in food? And I think that is a great question and opens up a whole other topic when we talk about the FDA and regulations in food. And that's honestly something I wish I knew more specifically about, but has been something I've been meaning to look more into, because, it's clear, like when I've been to Ireland, for instance, right? Ketchup. Let's just take something as simple as ketchup. There's like 3 ingredients in there.
Yeah.
Tomatoes and like 2 other things that make it ketchup. You look at the ingredients in ketchup here, there's like 30 things in it. Right?
I noticed that when I was in Ireland as well.
Yeah.
It's just booze and tomato and booze. That's it.
And French fries or chips and
Dingo,
burgers.
it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the places that I really, my God, when I was in Burlington to see, to go to Bernard's birthday party, we went to this, in Burlington, everything you can eat is all, farm to table. Like literally, even their food trucks are organic, farm to table. Good luck finding McDonald's or anything like that. It is literally their lieutenant governor, okay, Dave Zuckerman, literally has a stand at the farmer's market. Like, the entire city of Burlington is so fucking amazing, and it's so organic and incredible and just, you know, healthy, and everything tastes better, and it was just awesome. Like, I've never experienced such a thing, except like you said, when I go to Europe. But yeah, it was incredible, just even seeing food trucks, you know, that are like, everything is made with kale, and it's like, what?
Right.
Really? That's
Right.
badass. I could get used to that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to Burlington, and well, I've been to Burlington once where I've stayed for like an extended period of time. And by an extended period of time, it was maybe a couple of hours at most. So still not much. I walked around, right? I do wish, you know, but it was enough for me to get a sense, because it's a small city. And I just remember thinking, I was like, oh, like if I lived here, I feel like I'd just never feel angry again. Like it's just such a like a
I
peaceful
know.
in the mountains. And
People
I'm
are
just
so
like,
nice, and it's so beautiful. The
yeah,
scenery is just gorgeous, and like, yeah, it really is a beautiful, beautiful town.
yeah.
Why don't we just move there? We'll separate from the contiguous US. We'll make President Bernie, we'll make him be like the Bernie he was in the 80s. And
Right.
just make our own little country, our own little commie country over there.
Plenty of good hiking spots if you're into hiking, you know, got some mountains, you know, you can get.
Yeah. I love Burlington. It's wonderful. But yeah, we got off track. But that was really interesting to see an entire city that had no preservatives and no, you know, I was just like, wow, like you just feel better, you know, everything tastes better, tastes fresher. It was awesome. But yeah, do you have any last thoughts?
Not really. I mean, I think my last thoughts are just like, you know, this is something that was going under the radar, right? And so always just keep your eyes open, right? Because there's a lot going on right now, and I do think that there are a lot of things that are being highlighted to an extreme amount that I'm not saying aren't not important at all. It's not like we shouldn't have a conversation about, but let's be honest, it's taking a little too much of the airwaves, and we need to be giving other stories attention as well. So that's all I'm going to say.
And that leads into my topic of choice. So
perfect transition, right?
Yeah, good one, Andrew. So something, and this isn't something I'm just, you know, some kind of epiphany, but something that really got to me the other day, particularly, is the I don't like labels, but just because they lose their meaning, they're annoying. Like left, I'm just gonna say left, even though I don't consider myself a left. I'm just an independent thinker. Like, I don't care, but I'm just gonna say the left for all intents and purposes. So it's very frustrating for someone who's done a show for almost 5 years and who never talks about any other podcasters, because I really don't give a fuck, to post things of substance and have it get zero traction, and then see Debate Me Bros with less followers get like thousands of, you know, retweets. So, you know, so I'm covering this case to Mujin Kensu, who I interviewed from prison for a second time on Friday. Now, interviewing someone from prison is kind of a big deal, especially interviewing someone who has been, who is literally found innocent, yet still locked up after 35 years. So I'm doing my best to get him out. And with that, I'm thinking, okay, I have over 23,000 followers. I'm going to push this like crazy. I'm going to, you know, push this episode out where I interview him. He lays out all the facts and just like how, you know, the Innocence Project's fighting for him. You know, he had a habeas that found him innocent. And Gretchen Whitmer still sitting there with his paperwork on his desk. He's in there 35 years later. And I'm trying everything to get this dude out, because over a year and a half since I met him, he's become an actual friend. And someone I care about very dearly. And so I'm sharing this post, okay? And I'm putting in bold letters, innocent man in prison 35 years. 2 shares. 2 fucking shares. 12 likes. Are you fucking kidding me? How many of these people always talk about injustice and, the injustice system and how fucked up the police are and stuff. And here's a dude who's sitting there 35 years later and 2 shares? 2? And one of them was shared by the girl I did the damn show with. So, yeah, shit like that is getting to me, because I have, with 23,000 followers, this is a man who this is life and death. And this man, trusts me enough to keep coming to me for help. And I tell him I'm going to help him. And I try in every way I can. And then I go out there and I try to get this, I didn't expect it to trend, but Jesus fucking Christ. 2 shares? Are you fucking kidding me? And then someone's like, well, maybe it's the algorithm. No, let's just get this straight. 23,000 followers, 2 shares. That is not an algorithm. No, it's not. Stop making excuses. 12 likes, 2 shares. There could have at least been 12 shares then. There weren't. This is not about me. This is not about my page. This is about me trying to help someone who is literally dying in jail. And the so-called left, who's just always talking about, how unfair the injustice system is, can't even be bothered to share these posts I'm making about him. It infuriates me. That is not okay. This man is counting on us. We have the ability to come together in numbers to tell Gretchen Whitmer, get the fuck off your ass and let Temujin Kensu free. But I can't do that because nobody wants to retweet. Nobody wants to comment. Nobody wants to do a fucking thing because Debate Me Bro is trending, and has Vosh is trending for the 18th time because he said something stupid again. And, another Debate Me Bro is talking about, Young Turks. And I don't give a fuck. What happened to the issues? What happened to them? It's like shows like ours are so few and far between that we actually talk about, things with substance. I literally don't even watch any other shows. I don't have time and I don't care. Like, if somebody sends me clips, cool, but I don't sit there and watch other shows so I can create clips and be like, did you see what so-and-so said? I don't give a fuck. How are you helping people by doing that? So yes, these social media pages are your pages. I will not try to tone police. I will not say, don't post this, don't post that. But what I am going to say is, if all you're posting is that kind of shit, and you can't even share shit like free Temujin, that's a fucking problem. Furthermore, mutual aid. Leftists support mutual aid, right? Well, how come I'm the only one who shares mutual aid posts every fucking day with a large account? Show me someone else who shares mutual aid posts with more than 1,000, 2,000 followers. I guarantee I'm the only one. use your fucking platform, people. How long does it take to click share hashtag mutual aid request? But your platform can give people donations. That is laziness. That is lack of caring. That is talking about it and not being about it. It's fucking frustrating. And it's like, are you boutique left? Because I don't see you doing shit to actually help people. I see you talking about content creators. What are you doing to help people? What are you doing? I can't see this.
You want me to read it, or
Jimmy has been.
you should try to reach out to Door. Jimmy has been giving a platform for smaller content creators. I'll leave comments on their channel about this.
Oh no, I mean, I've been on Jimmy's show. Like I've been on his show, and I've been, I opened for him at a comedy show in Los Angeles. I just mean, I'm talking about more the debate me bro. He does talk about Young Turk shit like that, but he also does talk about some issues. It's not my style because I don't talk about, I don't give a flying fuck about Kyle Kalinske and Crystal Ball and all these. I don't fucking care. I don't care. I literally don't care. If I saw them on the street, I probably wouldn't even recognize them because I cared that little. And, just the fact that, like, people are like, love, creating these videos like hours every day of like, look what they said. And look, it's so boring. It is so boring and it has no substance. So I just needed to rant to say, like, if you preach these things and you have even a somewhat large account and you can't even ask for mutual aid and shit like that, I'm not going to take you seriously anymore because I'm really over this shit. Like, we have the ability to use our platforms. If you're talking, you can say mutual aid all you want, but if I do a search and you don't share mutual aid posts for, the past 9 months, you're a fucking hypocrite. Period. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to say that ever since I started doing, shows on the Populist Voice and, now on your show for Postmortem Breakdown, right? I have watched podcasters significantly less, right? And it's nothing against a lot of other podcasters. It's just this shit takes time. It takes time to really get caught up on news and really do research. And so I always think to myself, when I see certain podcasters who just continuously make clips about other podcasters, I'm like, how do you have the time? Like, I do maybe 2 shows a week, 3, 4, busy, right? And that's a lot for me with doing a full-time job. And then I'm trying to keep up with the news. There's so much going on, trying to filter through all the distractions to see what is actually worth my time to pay attention to and what is not. And you're spending your time clipping out other people and their shitty takes. Okay, I agree. There are a lot of people with damn takes, terrible takes. Okay, let them have their shitty take and do a good take yourself on something, right?
Right.
Combat their problematic stuff by coming up with something better and sticking to the issues and then getting people to learn and educate. If you're just focusing on, let's just base off this whole stream on what someone else is doing, how are you any different from the mainstream news, who loves to kind of get and really feed off of that gossiping part of your brain, right? If we are an independent media source, if we are independent leftists, if we are the independent left, whatever the hell you want to call us, right? We need to be behaving differently than the mainstream media. It's not enough that we don't like the mainstream media. We need to focus on the issues, what matters, what can help people, educating people, right? And so that we can then be a more informed society, so then we can make better decisions amongst ourselves. But if all we are doing is spewing hate for other people and putting that front and center, yeah, Kyle has said a lot of things that piss me off. I don't watch him anymore. That's what I do. I don't hate watch him, because what good does that do, right? I could name countless other people. What?
It gives him numbers. You're
It gives you numbers,
helping him.
but it gives him numbers, and it might give you numbers too, because it's easy to watch. But at what cost? And that is, I think, the number one thing. And I will just say, based on what Joy was saying, when you were interviewing that 35. Not 35 years old, has been in prison for 35 years, has been in prison longer than I have been alive, by a good, decent amount. And so, and I know, because, I was talking to you and trying to help you out, that took a lot of preparation, not just because of normally the amount of preparation it takes to do an interview, but because the prison changed the system up on you. You had to do it through Zoom. He had to call in. You had to figure out how to kind of do that. It ended up, I think, starting 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later.
2 hours later.
2 hours later. So here you are working against oppressive structures just to get the guy to speak. And then now we have to peel through everyone who is distracted by the latest Vosh take that's terrible, the latest Kyle take that's terrible. Should Joe Rogan, and I have my opinions on Joe Rogan, and I think, I'm generally against censorship, right? But that should not be the only issue that people are talking about. And then shitting on other people.
I'm even pissed off that we're mentioning these names, because I never do. I never even mention the names, because I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's so frustrating. Like, free Temujin Kensu. Please help. Please look on my Twitter. Please watch the interview. Please do whatever you can. Call Gretchen Whitmer. Fucking email her. Fucking send her a postcard. I don't fucking care. This dude is innocent 100%. He is one of the most wonderful human beings I've ever met. This man sits there on life, even though he's been found innocent through habeas for 35 years, and sends me emails through his lawyers asking how I am and how my site is and stuff. Like, this dude is beautiful, and he is so caring and so wonderful, and he's been helping other prisoners in there try to learn, try to get their lives together. And I mean, he is just an incredible human being, and he's such an asset to so many people, yet he sits there, and Gretchen Whitmer can do something about it, yet isn't. So this is where we come in. Do we really care about criminal injustice? Do we really care about innocent people being held hostage in these shit prison systems? Do we really care about that? If we do, now is our fucking chance. Free Temujin Kensu. What's it say? I can't see it.
Give me a second. Let me go back. I miss the old days of journalism, before Bill Clinton ruined journalism by signing the 1996 Telecommunication Act. Yeah. I wish I was alive in 1996, but I was not old enough to really be aware of journalism. I wish I experienced it, is what I'm trying to say, more so. Because what we have now is horrible.
I'm 42, so I was then, but I just wasn't politically astute. You know what I mean? Right. I was just like, oh, it's media. Oh, mom and dad watch, NBC or whatever. Like, it just was. Do you have the meme I wanted you to share?
Yeah, let me share it. Let's see. All right, StreamYard. No attitude here. Let's see. Is it sharing?
It's spinning. Yes.
There it
Okay.
is.
So Margaret Kimberly, amazing, shared this today. And
escalating war with Russia, kids still in cages, cop murdered Amir Loh, Palestine, Yemen, bombing Syria, mass COVID deaths, no health care, mass evictions, Americans. Shit about some podcaster. Yeah.
I mean, nails it. Some of the people who shared this, I'm like, what? Wait, what? Is someone running your account for you? Like, what? Why are you sharing this? You have like no idea, no self-introspection whatsoever. Whoopty, actually, I think cyberbullying would be the wrong route to go. Unfortunately, Whitmer has received thousands of phone calls, hundreds, if not thousands, of emails. She just doesn't fucking care. She just does not care. And I will tell you something. And this, I understand a lot of people don't like the squad, myself included, but Temujin is in Michigan and Rashida Tlaib has been fighting on his behalf. That's the truth.
That's good.
So he has judges, elected reps, prosecutors. He has so many people on his side. She is one of them. So regardless, I mean, I will always love and respect her for that, because he needs all the help he can get, and she's local to his prison. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, like, literally everyone's trying everything. And at this point, we just need the people to step the fuck up and demand he be let out. It's that simple. That's our last recourse. I don't know what else to do except have people stand up. Like, I'm ready to fucking just open a charge card and go fly to Michigan and fucking, protest outside the damn prison. I don't know what to do anymore. But if we have people who actually care and actually want to stand up, we've seen this happen. Okay, like when Rodney Reed was going to get executed, what happened? Twitter trended. And guess what? They stopped his execution. Social media has power.
Yeah.
If we got free Temujin to trend, Gretchen Whitmer would have to do something. At the very least, respond to why she's sitting on her ass. At the very least. Do we care enough to do that? I mean, I just don't know. I do. You do. Do enough of us? Doesn't look that way.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I don't really don't know what else I can add to that. It's sad, and I do think, especially in these independent spaces, I have noticed a more of a tick in terms of debate me, bro, or talking about other podcasters within the last year and a half. I feel like it's really gotten a lot more like that. And yeah, I mean, I hope it stops, because I feel like it just, once a couple people started doing it, more people started cashing in and doing it. And it's not a good look.
Yeah, some of the people who do it, like, didn't start out that way.
Right. Yeah.
Let me put up his name and his photo.
Yeah, definitely.
And please go to my Twitter to get information about Temujin. He is he's he's a wonderful person with a ridiculously high spirit, and it's truly incredible. Like, I've never seen someone so uplifting and everything. It's pretty incredible. The way that he has his moments, but he's he just feels like it's his job and his duty and his calling to just help educate people in prison and still do for others, even though he's on the inside. I mean, he's truly remarkable. So please check out the show, listen to. You guys will not believe the case. You won't believe it. I mean, I've never seen someone so innocent in my entire life. But what happened? He's accused of killing a politician's son. They needed someone. So learn the case, listen to it, then hit up Gretchen Whitmer, make a tweet, do anything you can. This man's life needs to start fresh. He needs to be free. So that's my plea. Please check it out. It's on my page, my Rockfin, my Twitter, all of that. So Andrew, on that happy note, what you got going on this week?
Yeah, so this week, don't have anything set, but I'm definitely going to be, I think, doing, at least one stream on the Populist Voice later this week. I'm going to be starting sort of my own sort of individual thing on the Populist Voice with some guests too, I think. But more to come with that. But yeah, so yeah.
Well, I heard it here first. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Were you scared I was going to ask to come on it or something?
What?
You didn't tell me because you were scared I was going to ask to come on it?
No. I'm just, it's still in the works. But yeah, so still fleshing things out. But yeah, so.
Well, I am actually taking it kind of easy, in my terms. Thursday, this week's news, I will likely be joined by Elias, my buddy. So I have started working with March for Medicare for All again. We announced that we are going to be holding a 3-day national Medicare for All forum. So it's going to be March 11th through the 13th. It's going to be a Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all Medicare for All national panels. So we're going to be having, healthcare worker, disability, people with disabilities, a mental health panel, a people of color health disparity panel, you name it. It's going to be literally 3 days of panels on different avenues of, I shouldn't say avenues because we do not support states, but different respects of the Medicare for All realm, like all the people it would help. And if you have a healthcare story, if you work in healthcare, if you are a person of color who wants to talk about the healthcare disparities, if you, anyone who has an interest in national Medicare for All and feels that they could speak to a certain topic, my DMs on Twitter are open. Yes, we do have some guests confirmed, but we're not going to make it about that. We want a lot of regular people involved, so to speak. So please hit me up if you know someone or you yourself or someone. Again, it will be March the 11th through the 13th. So mark your calendar. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. You guys are amazing. And I love when you guys are interactive. So that's always exciting. So take care. Have a good week. And Logan, you were missed, but we will catch you next Monday. Ooh, are we going to say what's going on Monday?
Oh.
Sure.
Sure.
Monday is Valentine's Day. So guess what the three of us are doing? Not a threesome. What we're doing is we are playing. Are you laughing? I can't see. Oh, okay. What we're doing is playing Truth or Drink. And all the questions are going to be sex and love. So Logan has the questions. It's like a card deck, and it asks you something, and you either answer, or if you don't want to answer, chug. So we're just going to be silly and have fun. And of course, we want you guys to join in on the silliness and fun as well. So just a nice reprieve, from all this heavy shit all the time. But yes, so look forward to that on Monday. But thanks again for watching, you guys, and peace out. Much love.